a top 5, shall we? We do a top 5. Would you introduce our top 5 topic for today, Beans? It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for another classic JP and the Beans. Top 5.
Honestly, I'm still just in shock at how, like, there is more in there.
There's
yeah.
a lot of beef in that steak.
Our top 5 this time around, the last second make, we said top 5 actors we'd see in anything as anyone. So these 5 actors that, if we saw them announced in the film, we're like, you know what? That sparks my interest.
Yep.
I would go watch that.
Yep.
Even if it doesn't make sense and they're playing a really weird role that you don't think would fit for them. Like some of these characters on my list, and we'll point that out, right? But you'd go see it. So that's the list. Do you want to start it off?
I would love to go first. My number 5 is Melissa McCarthy. She is a friggin' hoot. She is a dadgum treasure and a hoot. And every time I've seen Melissa in a movie over the last, decade, it's been incredible. It's been incredible. She's tremendous. She's tremendous. And it's not even close. She is freaking funny all the time. All the time. So I'm going to go see Melissa McCarthy. You got my money. That's my number 5.
Yeah, this is not how I thought this was going to go.
Wild card.
Something like that. My number 5 is Captain Jack Sparrow himself. I have Johnny Depp.
Okay.
Because this dude is able to, is a chameleon of sorts. Can kind of just blend in there, but I'm like, you know what? Great actor. Mm-hmm. Right now, some of his stuff is too weird for me, so that's why he's number 5.
Yeah. He goes through these phases where he's on the oddball side.
His odd choice, his performance is Willy Wonka, for example. That's out there. Mm-hmm. Okay. Edward Scissorhands, never a movie I'm going to go watch. Mm-hmm. Okay. So there's a couple ones where you're like, too weird.
Sure.
Alice in Wonderland, it's a Mad Hatter.
Yep.
Look, weird, but he was also good in it.
Sure.
So mainly it's Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp. So I'm going to say Johnny Depp is my number 5. Now this is where it gets really good. Okay.
Fantastic.
And number 4.
Excited here.
Paul Rudd. If Paul Rudd's in the movie, I'm already intrigued. Because, let's be real, Paul Rudd is an American hero. Okay, this dude could be in anything, and I'm going to go watch it. Because I don't think he's been bad in anything.
No, he's never been bad in anything. Even in bad movies and bad shows, he's been great.
And even when
he's been great.
Here's the thing, though, too. He can also play a douchebag and make it work. Or just a dumb idiot. Like, I look at his role in, we could go to Anchorman. Fantastic.
Terrific.
We could go to where my whole thought process moved. Where was it? He was in Only Murders in the Building.
Sure.
That show. Sure. He was an absolute doucher in. And it was fantastic. Yeah. So I'm blanking out on the other ones that I had examples. Yes, that was it. Oh, he's a fantastic character in Bobby Newport. He just shows up in these random shows sometimes as this character. You're like, oh, this is perfect. Yep. So, yes, thank you for that poll.
You're very welcome.
But yes, so that's my number 4, Paul Rudd. I'd see him in anything. And, of course, Ant-Man. So
that's great. My number 4 is Christian Bale. Dude's a straight up chameleon. Okay. And, again, terrific. No matter what he's in. Obviously, most well known for his role in the Batman movies and the Dark Knight trilogy. Best Batman voice ever. I think where Christian Bale went to a next level for me was the movie The Fighter, where he was with Mark Wahlberg. So Mark Wahlberg, this is based on a true story. They are brothers. Mark Wahlberg is a aspiring champion boxer. Christian Bale is his brother, who is his trainer, and he is a drug addict. And his physical transformation was unbelievable. It's not the only time, of course, Christian Bale has done this, but the manner in which he totally fell into this particular character was surreal. Okay. And at the end, I'll never forget, at the end of the movie, credits roll, and we get a 30-second kind of a documentary shot, if you will, where the real live people that this movie and the story is based off of are just sitting side by side. So the two brothers are sitting side by side, talking back and forth, okay? And you get a fresh appreciation for how much Christian Bale nailed portraying this particular person in the movie. I mean, the real life person could not have been more Christian Bale that we just saw in the movie and vice versa. It was wild. So Christian Bale, my number 4. My number 3 is my guy, Chris Pine. He's fantastic. He's absolutely terrific. He's charismatic. He has a wry sense of humor that I really, really enjoy, whether it's the Star Trek movies, his role in the 2 Wonder Woman films. Hell or High Water is a personal favorite of mine, where he plays a little bit of a darker character, but no less terrific. I would go see the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Haven't yet, but simply because Chris Pine is in it.
It is not
I would
bad.
Watch it.
It's not
I'm
bad.
sure it's entertaining. He's such a naturally entertaining dude, and he manages to pull it off without being over the top. He just seems to be able to present himself for who he is, and he crushes it every time. So Chris Pine is my number 3.
My number 3 is Nicolas Cage.
Wow.
Because let's be okay.
Wow.
Here's the point.
This
here.
is
Okay,
great.
first of all, this is what I said. Our lists are going to be completely different.
Yep.
First of all, him in National Treasure,
Huh?
those 2 movies,
Oh, they're great.
He's
fantastic.
Can we just
He's
say
a national treasure in them.
correct?
Right.
Can we just say this, like man to man, that we have been robbed by that not being in like a crazy good franchise? How the hell did we not get 3, 4?
Yeah.
We got 10 Fast and Furious movies, and we got only 2 National
It's a
Treasures.
great question. It's a great question.
Those are fantastic movies.
You can probably make a very direct and accurate correlation as to where our country really took a downturn, which is when we stopped getting national treasure movies.
It's because it was probably accurate. They probably knew that there was actually, in fact, a map to treasure on the back of the Declaration of Independence. But that's a prime example, okay? Another thing, I always thought it was going to be ridiculous to see Nicolas Cage as Superman. But then you see it in The Flash, and you're like, you know what? I know it wouldn't be a good movie, but I would kind of want to see it.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you see Nicolas Cage, and you're like, huh, I kind of want to see that just to see what it's going to be, because the dude just likes to act, right? He's doing this because he loves it, not because
he just enjoys it.
Right, exactly. He played himself in a movie, and I haven't seen that yet, and I want to. It's on my list. You know what movie I'm talking about, right? It's with him and Oscar, not Pedro Pascal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very long title.
Correct, and I don't want to think of it. So,
The Burden of Greatness or something to that extent.
So,
Yep.
Nicolas Cage is number 3. Okay.
Number 3.
Now, number 2 is Danny DeVito. I would see Danny DeVito play anybody, anytime, because he would just be fantastic, okay? I really want him to voice Wario in the Mario movies. Like, that's my next bid, right?
Oh
But he's
my
so
God.
hilarious, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He was a great-looking penguin. Like, he's the perfect penguin, right?
No human being on Earth is a more comic accurate embodiment of Oswald Cobblepot than is Danny DeVito. Yeah.
And then you also think about, he voiced the satyr in Hercules.
Yep.
And I think he's going to
Yep.
come back and play the character live action if they do it live action.
Right.
Fantastic. Right? The dude, and I think genuinely he's a very good dude
Yep.
from what I understand.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Danny DeVito is my number 2.
Yeah.
There's not a lot
great.
that I wouldn't see of Danny DeVito.
That's fantastic. Number 2. My number 2 is Denzel Washington. This guy's been doing it for decades, man. Decades.
so different.
Oh, very different. Very different. It's great. It's great. This is an all-time wonderful top 5. What blows me away, okay, about Denzel Washington is that, listen, he is no longer a spring chicken by age definition, and yet he continues to bring the same ferocity and energy towards every single role that he's in. And here's what's wild to me is when you see Denzel Washington in a movie, I don't think I could tell you what his characters' names are in the movies. I don't know if there is another person whose movies I see where I just go, that's Denzel Washington. Like if I watch The Equalizer, it's Denzel. It's like, what's his character's name? No, there's no character. It's just Denzel. Gladiator 2. the sequel we're all looking forward to later this year. It's Denzel and the Roman Empire. Just remember the Titans. That's Denzel. It's Coach Denzel. It's just incredible. The guy has this fascinating ability to just be who he is and have it be somehow a great fit in movie after movie after movie, to where it's believable, it's not distracting, and it's wonderful to behold the whole stinking time. So that's my number 2, is Denzel freaking Washington.
If anybody wants to know what our personalities are like,
these lists.
You just leave this list. Honest to God, when I clip this as a top 5, just for the top 5, this is what you send them.
Yeah.
Because this is
it.
This is too accurate to our personalities. And we know what your number 1 is.
I know what your number 1 is.
No, you don't.
Sure.
Did you look over it?
No.
You don't know who my number 1 is. Go ahead. Go ahead.
My number 1.
Not for this.
That's fine. Okay. All right. I'm looking forward to maybe being surprised. My number 1 is George Clooney.
Yes.
Yeah. George freaking Clooney. The absolute, now silver, but once upon a time golden fox. The guy can't be topped. Charisma, has it. Looks, has it. Range, has it. He is terrific in everything that he's in. He's been in some stinkers, okay? I've seen them all. He has been in some stinkers. Hello, Batman and Robin. But my guy acts his tail off every single time. He is tremendous. Everything that I just said about Denzel truly applies to my guy, George, okay? He's who he is, movie after movie. And yet, to George's credit, I think he shows more range at times than my guy, Denzel. And I don't mean that as a discredit to Denzel. I just mean it as a credit to George. Whether he's playing in a drama, an action movie, a thriller, he is perfect. George Clooney, number 1.
Now, you're probably thinking my number 1 is Ryan Reynolds.
100%.
Yes. Ryan didn't even make the list, which is hilarious. But
I feel like I've been lied to.
But also, like, let's be real. If I see Ryan on screen, yes, I'll go to the movie. But it's also like he's playing Ryan Reynolds. Like he's the same character all the time.
Yes.
So yes.
Okay.
Honest to God, if I redid this, Ryan would probably be on the list over Johnny Depp. Okay, we'd probably kick Johnny Depp out. We'd probably put Ryan at 3. Okay.
No take backsies.
My number 1
permanent.
Hey, my number 1 is Jack Black.
Whoa.
There is not like. I would see Jack Black and anybody. If they're like, hey, Jack Black is going to play Superman for the next 3 films, let's see how it plays out. Do I know if it's going to be good? No, it's probably going to be shit. All right? But I'll go watch that any day of the week.
Oh, my gosh.
I know it's stupid, all right? But, like, just think about he's so funny and whatever he's doing. I genuinely just think, like, if you just gave him a script, I think he would make it entertaining, even if he doesn't fit into that movie.
Yep.
Like, just genuinely just entertaining.
He's something else. He just is. Whereas, okay, I said earlier, right, that Danny DeVito is the perfect human embodiment of what Oswald Cobblepot looks like from the comics. Jack Black is the perfect human embodiment of, hey, show me an entertaining person. Right. And that's it. That's just it. Like, you just look at him, and it's entertaining. He doesn't have to say anything else. Stand there, look at him. It's entertaining. And then he starts speaking. And then he starts acting or singing. And
singing voice?
Also incredible.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
You're like, outside of it, you're like, oh, this doesn't work. But at the same time, you're listening. Oh, you're like, oh, this works really, really well.
It works.
But like, think about it. Kung Fu Panda? That's Jack Black. Yeah. Right? Like, they crafted that character like, it's Jack. This has to go to Jack. It just does. Right? So, like,
there's no doubt.
Him as Bowser?
Yeah.
Remember when I was like, I heard that, I'm like, I am nervous because I just don't know if he can do it. And he nails it. He absolutely crushed it.
Yeah. No, Jack Black as Poe the Panda is in the same league as Robin Williams as the genie from the Aladdin movie, where...
Wow, that's high regard.
I mean it sincerely, though, because... If you were to put anybody else's voice in the role of the genie, and they did that because they made a second Aladdin movie, and they had someone else not named Robin Williams as the genie, garbage. And then they made the third Aladdin movie, brought Robin back, vastly, vastly better. You do the same thing with the Kung Fu Panda movie. There's nobody else that can do Po the Panda. There's not. There's not. So he's a one of one.
Correct.
Jack Black. Wow, what a great pull. That's great.